Hello, welcome back. So we're just jumping right in here. I spray painted just like a pink color that I had. It was very specific that they wanted like a blush pink, and so I just picked out the lightest color pink that I had, and I spray painted this 30-ounce straight. I picked out all of the colors that were like a baby, very light pastel pink that I had. I just kind of went through all of my colors and just kind of was very meticulous in picking the colors that I wanted. The idea behind this was the person really loves light pink and glitter. And so I was like, okay, I really have been dying to do a monochromatic Milky Way. I wanted to kind of do something where it was just, there was so much depth, but it was just all the one color or the one shade or, that kind of thing. And so when I started this, I did it just as if I was doing a Milky Way. So all of the colors, I did them in the rows all the way around, from top to bottom, so that they were matching from the top to the bottom, right? So that the top of the swirl met with the bottom of the swirl where the cup meets. If you can see right there to right at the top there. But all of these colors I knew were going to meld together. They were going to become, kind of one color shade. But I still wanted to treat this very much like a Milky Way, in the sense that, a swirl. I wanted everything to kind of have its own show of color. And so that's what I was doing here, even though they were all like the same shade and the same color, kind of pink. So in between those two rows, I took Posh from Radioactive Glitter, and it is absolutely gorgeous, iridescent, pinky, purpley kind of, but I knew once I put it on this pink base that it was going to pull all these pink colors out. And so I just kind of filled that in where the rest of it was. Like open. Anyways, so then I'm speeding this up now, because basically what I did was I went right back over all of the spots with the same color. So I just, where the color was, I just took the same color and just sprinkled it just to fill in those lines to, still have that distinction of each color. It was a little bit hard to remember which one, so I had to put them in order, but I just love the outcome of this. It was so gorgeous. I'm not the biggest pink person, but this really was kind of stunning after we got done. So I took more of the Posh and I filled in wherever we needed to. And then I took the SOC glitter Lily. I can't remember. I'll have everything linked down below. But I did actually take that and went all over the entire thing just to fill in any spots where, just in case if we left any spots open, because everything was so pink. And so it was just kind of hard for me to tell, if we got all of the spots pink and, everything was covered with that glitter. And I was so into what I was doing that I really was not, picking up any of the glitter as it was going down. So whatever landed in this, I actually put this in a little cup, and I'm going to use this again because it is absolutely stunning. There's just so much depth in this pink. So I just used whatever was left on the bottom there to pat the bottom. Left in the little pile underneath where I was catching it all. I just stuck the bottom down in that just to kind of just fill up that bottom, no big deal. And then I just took the paper that I have there, the wax paper, and I just left the glitter on there, and I just patted it down just to get any loose glitter would just go right into that little pile that we have there. So here's where we get into the fun stuff. I have put 2 coats of epoxy on this no, I'm sorry. I've only put 1 coat of epoxy, because this is going to be the second coat, and we are going to put all of the beautiful micas and paints and glitters and all of that we're going to mix up here. And I was just trying to decide. I knew I wanted to have everything be pink, but I wanted to make sure that it was just dark enough or just light enough to where it would actually show but not take away. And so I was very meticulous in my choices of mica powders here. I was trying to decide. I had some Simply Sarah, I had some stuff I got off of Amazon, I had some Glitter Ranch stuff. I was just really taking my time because I wanted this to be just right. And so, sometimes just kind of getting that right look really ends in a beautiful result. So at this point, like I said, I have one coat of epoxy on there, and this is going to be its second coat. Now, we're going to have to put several coats on top of this afterwards, so I always just start with the one coat, and then I do the second coat, and that's when I do all my swirls, because I know there's going to be so much epoxy, so I try not to load it up in the very beginning of, the process. So, and I don't put a really thick layer on here because I don't want too much movement. I do like some movement, and I do want it to be a coat of epoxy, but it's not going to be like a really thick coat that I'm going to put on there to cover up and to, fix sanding and all of that type of thing. So I'm kind of spreading this out the best I can. It's probably about 15, 20 milliliters on here on this 30-ounce cup. So here is where I'm going to divide. I've picked out 3 colors. One is like a white, and one of them is a very pretty metallic-y pink, and the other one is a white that shifts to red, but it really shifts to more of like a pink, but it's white to red. I think it's on the Glitter Ranch website. And so I just filled each one of these with, I don't know, probably 2.5 to 5, whatever. I just kind of poured it in there. I don't like to waste too much of epoxy when you're doing something like that. So I usually put like 2.5 to 5, and that's usually plenty that you need. These Arteza paints are like iridescent, and they kind of color shift. And so I picked the one that was kind of metallic-y and it kind of color shifts. I picked that to go with the pink paint that Arteza has, that it would kind of give just kind of reflect the same kind of colors in that paint to that metallic. And I'll have all of the names and everything listed below like I normally do. This one was more of like, I wasn't promoting anybody particular. I had a specific job to do, which was a very light colored pink glitter, and I just wanted to really perfect that. And so I used all the different things that I have in my, little shop here. So this is the white to red that the Glitter Ranch has. And like I said, it's white to red, and it does have like the shade of red, but it's more of, it just kind of turns to pinkish red. And I knew that it would give me just this perfect kind of, different look that would be able to be seen but not really take away or anything. And this Arteza paint is a red, and it does the same exact thing. It kind of shifts to this like reddish pink kind of color. And so mixing those two together gives you some really good dimension. And this jar of mica powder I have had for 20 years. My aunt actually, God rest her soul, she gave this to me, and it is very near and dear to my heart. So I don't use it very often, but I knew that this beautiful white, glittery mica that she gave me would be perfect on this. It would give just enough of a glitter look that, would go really well with this Milky Way. And this is the new Sparkle Dust from SOC glitters. It was in her subscription box last month, and I wanted to put it in all of them so that they all had the same glitter. So they all like had different dimensions and colors, but yet still had that same light pinky sparkle. So they all would kind of just not really take away from one or the other. You're going to want to heat this up later once you get all of the mica swirls and everything on there. But I always heat it up one time before just to pop bubbles, just to make sure that we've got the epoxy, you know, flowing and good on there. This is just my preference. I know there's a lot of people that don't like to start off with heat, but I really like it. I don't put that much of the mica swirl on there. And so I really like to get movement going with heat. So putting a little bit of heat in the beginning and then pouring this on here, it really, to me, gives me the look that I really like. And you can see how that darker pink, it still has that light pink look to it, but it's just giving us just a little bit of, you know, a contrast a little bit. And then this white to pink or white to red or whatever, it really is giving, it really is absolutely gorgeous when you're seeing it in person, because it just gives that beautiful, you know, frothy kind of look that the Milky Ways have. And because it was like kind of see-through and it was white, I really let it kind of rip with this one. And not to use Jessica Flynn's word, but I mean, I really kind of let it go on this because it just was like so gorgeous, and that glitter was just kind of coming through. And then I went through with the white, and it had a little bit of that pink in there, so it was bringing out just a little bit pink, and it was white and pink, and it just really, I was very, very pleased with how this came out. All of the colors just blended so well. And this is really a testament to when you have collections of micas or glitters or, you know, additives or whatever, is really when you have someone that gives you a specific look, is really just kind of walk around and look at what you have and really utilize all of those things that you have in your, because you collect these things, you get them because they're so gorgeous, and then they sit on a shelf, and then someday you have somebody that says, I want all light pinks and I wanted it to be this and this and this, and you're like, you know what, I have all of these things sitting around collecting dust and I need to use them. And so just really, you know, curate your look, and you're going to have so much fun doing something like this in that monochromatic look. And it doesn't have to be pink, obviously. It could be black, or it could be silver, or it could be a, you know, a baby blue, you know, or something like that. Just have fun with it and really see, you know, how you can utilize, I keep saying that word, but how you can, you know, get use out of everything that you have in your craft room, and really, you know, create a gorgeous look that just, you know, you really have to see in person to kind of appreciate. So I love, like I said, I love to have heat. I love to get things moving, but I don't put that much mica on there. I have seen other people that just like lather it on, and I don't like to do that. I like to just be very meticulous on where I'm putting it, swirl it around, let the cup roll, and then I kind of lay it on there very, you know, purposefully. And then I like to take my heat gun and I like to spread it out. I like to blast like certain little areas where there was kind of a clump or something, and I like to open it up and get it flowing. And it just really creates some beautiful cells and movement and everything. And then this, because it was so, you know, monochromatic, I just kind of went back through and just dripped a little bit of each one of them on there. I was getting it moving, but I wanted it to still have some of those streaks on there. And so I just kind of went back through and just let some streaks just kind of fall. And then, you know, I just barely went back through and kind of hit it with a little bit more heat. But this is always like, you know, what you're looking for, and the look that when you're looking at it and you're going through it, that you're like, okay, this is looking the way that I want it to look. And this gorgeous pink mix, I wish I could bottle it and sell it to y'all, because it was Absolutely stunning. I went back through and had to sprinkle it on top. It just gives like an extra 3D kind of dimension. It brings everything from the foreground up to the front, and it just was so gorgeous. I knew it wasn't going to take away from anything. It was just going to add more and more and more depth and more, personality to this cup. This is one of my favorite things to use, and I do not remember what it was called. It was in some Halloween box or something with NMO. But it is so, I just love this. I do not know if it's available. If it is available, I will definitely link it below. But it has hearts in it, and it has little iridescent circles and different things. And when you throw this on a Milky Way like this, it just gives like such awesome, little things. Like when they're looking at their cup, they can see that, oh, look at that. Look, there's a heart. Oh, there's a little circle. There's a little moon or something. And I just love it. And there's stars in there and everything. And so when you're doing something like this, I think it definitely needs a little bit of that kind of character. And then I just added a little bit more heat where I thought needed it to be. And this is, like I said, this is going to be the process of what you think and, how you want it to be. And I just thought I would do a different angle here, give you a different lighting view, and you can just definitely see the depth of the different colors and I don't know. I just really was very happy with the way this turned out. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about the decal because honestly, everything was having to do with the Milky Way itself. But this is what I was asked to do. I was asked to put their handle on there, and then they wanted some sports logos on there, and so that's what I did. But what I wanted to say in this moment was, this was just me trying to decide whether or not I wanted to do it straight across, whether I wanted to do it at an angle, and I was trying to just, at this point I was like, what would be the best way, But I have already sanded around the rim, and I have put 2 more coats of epoxy on this after all of that Milky Way work. So now we have sanded it and we are ready to go for all of our decals. And in staying in the monochromatic, look, I took the same thing with the vinyl. So I went and got this rose gold holographic look vinyl, and I just kind of kept it pure in the look that everything was just going to be clean and pink and glittery, and just that was what they wanted, and I definitely think we achieved it. And like I said, the decals were not part of what this was, other than the fact that it was like a monochromatic look, and I wanted to stay with that. I absolutely am floored by this pink. I did not think that I would love it as much as I did, but it's like I want to make myself one. It turned out so gorgeous, and I really hope this leads you into doing something monochromatic because it is really a lot of fun, and it is so cool to see. If you recreate this, please tag me. Everything's linked down below. My group is down there. Please join my group, and I will definitely see you guys next time.